What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. And today I want to talk about one of the more interesting unknowns in the National Basketball Association. And that is what the hell is going on with Jonathan Kuminga. Because this has been an issue that has gone on for way too long. And I feel for Jonathan Kuminga because I don't know how he's been able to deal with this situation for so long. Obviously, if you guys have been, fans of the NBA, you probably know that there's been some tension between the Warriors and Kuminga for a while now. Steve Kerr has basically removed him out of the lineup on several occasions. And then when Kuminga gets reinserted, he usually shows flashes of how good he could be. I mean, he was the 7th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. 2021 NBA draft. He was the 7th overall pick. And he just hasn't really gotten utilized that much. But, he's a very impactful player. I mean, the guy averaged 15 points per game last season, only played 47 games, though, because they're literally, they're just giving him DMPs. And I don't understand why you would pick this guy so high in the draft. And obviously their team has changed a lot since then. They've won a championship his rookie season, but this is a guy that coming into the league, we were like, this guy could be the best dude to come out of this draft class. There's a high possibility that that's the case. He's super athletic. He can play the 3. He can play the 4. He's 6'8", 210. There's a lot of possibilities here, and he's still only 22 years old. He's going to turn 23 right before the season starts. I think the issue here, though, is obviously, he's a restricted free agent. So he might wind up with the Warriors next season. He might not. Who knows? But it seems like the Warriors still don't want him, right? But other teams are like, well, you guys have repressed this guy's value so much by not playing him that we're not going to pay him, what he's looking for. It's reported that he's looking for $25 million a year, which is high, but it's also not absurd for a guy that has this level of potential and has shown flashes in, long stretches that he can play, and he can play at a high level. So, I think if a team's willing to pay him that, it's going to be interesting, to see what he can really do on a team that's not the Warriors, where he can, get playing time, right? So it just seems like a very confusing situation where I'm kind of apparently the teams that are interested in him, the Suns are interested in him, the Bulls are interested in him. There's a few others, but it's mainly the Suns and the Bulls that I've heard about. And I think, the Suns are kind of in their own situation. I'm not sure if they'd be interested in paying Jonathan Kuminga $25 million a year. So that's why I feel like he hasn't even signed an offer sheet. Right, because as a restricted free agent, your rights are still retained by the team that you last played for, right? So the Warriors basically retain the right to match any offer sheet that Kuminga signs. So if he goes out and signs an offer sheet with the Washington Wizards for $25 million a year, the Warriors can then match that offer sheet and pay him the exact contract that he would have gotten with the Wizards, right? And the Wizards actually, I was just using them as an example, but they were, supposedly interested in Kuminga, but then they got Cam Whitmore, and they're like, okay, well, we don't need Kuminga anymore, right? So, and that makes sense. But I don't know what they're going to do here. I think, honestly, what's going to happen is the Warriors are going to pay him. It's not going to be what he wants. It's probably going to be on a shorter deal, not like a typical, 4-year max deal that a rookie or a guy coming off of a rookie contract would be getting. It just doesn't make sense. So I could see Kuminga, maybe he'll get 10 to 12 million a year, right? I think the Warriors are 35 or 37 million under the second apron, so they obviously don't want to get close to that at all. But maybe they sign him to a 1 year and a player option, and then they use that to trade him, right? Because a team will definitely give you value for Jonathan Kuminga if he's only getting paid $10 million a year, right? It would be hard for a team that's retooling or rebuilding to not give that a shot, right? Let me give you guys a couple of second round picks, or let me give you a first round pick, for Kuminga on a $10 million deal, right? And the Warriors, I think, are looking for at least one first round pick, probably an unprotected first round pick in exchange for Jonathan Kuminga. But at the end of the day, I'm like kind of sitting here and I'm like, well, if you guys really wanted that, you should have played him more and, raised his value. Like, I don't understand what the plan was here, right? And it seems like there's just like animosity between the two of them. There was videos that came out where Jonathan Kuminga was practicing and the Warriors training staff wasn't even there. Like, he had to bring in his friends to like rebound for him, right? And like, I don't know the whole context of it, but if I'm thinking about this correctly, you're telling me that they're so not invested in this player who's only 22 years old that they're like, you know what, we're not even going to like send our, staff to come and rebound for you. Like, that's bonkers. That's insane, guys. Like, there are dudes that don't even deserve to like be on an NBA roster in some situations, and they're getting all the treatment they need. They're getting the support they need, whatever, It's insane to me how much this guy has kind of been like disrespected in a sense. And I think Warriors fans, right, are indifferent. Like, I think some Warriors fans are kind of like, I like Kuminga. Why didn't you guys ever play him? And then some are like, we've forgotten about this dude. We have Jimmy Butler now, right? And I get that. You're gonna play Jimmy Butler. You just traded for him, so you're gonna use Jimmy Butler. But that doesn't mean you can't use Jonathan Kuminga. So I don't know. I just think there's too much animosity from Kuminga and the Warriors at this point, where it's like, just let the guy go, man. Like, let him go sign an offer sheet somewhere. But I think that the other thing is Kuminga's probably having a hard time getting that $25 million from anybody else. So he's either going to have to lower his expectations and just, forget about the past, go to this next place and really do what he has to do. But at the same time, he's probably afraid that if he signs an offer sheet that's less than that $25 million a year number, the Warriors are just going to match it. And he's going to be in the same situation where he can't really do anything, and he's just going to be stuck there until they decide if they want to trade him or not. So I don't know. He's got to figure out how to like become an unrestricted free agent. Like, he's just got to sign a deal and I guess suck it up until he can be an unrestricted free agent and he can go somewhere without having the Warriors like looming over his head. So, but this just goes to show like how much of a business the NBA is. Like, basketball at this professional level is a business. And Jonathan Kuminga is a perfect example of that, because he's a guy that has a lot of talent, but they haven't let him really live up to his potential. And now when he's trying to go somewhere else, it's still difficult for him to go do that because the Warriors still have some control over him. So, man, I'm hoping the best for Jonathan Kuminga. I would love to see him go to a new team. I think the Bulls would personally be a really good fit for him. He would fit in with that young team. I think him and Modest Buzelis would do great together. Obviously, Josh Giddey is also a restricted free agent for the Bulls. We don't know what's happening with him yet. He might stay. He might go. We don't know. They also just drafted Noah Esenge, I think with like the 12th overall pick in the draft. So they got a lot of young players that are up and coming over there. Kobe White as well. So they just got Isaac Okoro from the Cavs. So very young, versatile roster over there in Chicago. If I had to pick a spot for Kuminga to go, it probably would be there. So he can really flourish and show his potential. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, especially if you're a Warriors fan or if you're a Kuminga fan. Let me know what you think about this situation. What do you think is going to happen for the Warriors and Kuminga, as we go down the line here throughout the summer? Want to know your thoughts, so please leave some comments down below. I'm going to check you guys later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.